president left Walter Reed just an hour ago and is now back at the White House, much to the dismay, by the way, of the radical leftists who are literally beside themselves that the president is recovering as quickly as he is. And just a quick note, as reporters continue to question the health of the president, it is literally amazing that a man with the Chinese virus has a blood pressure at 134/78, takes 17 breaths a minute, and has a heart rate at 68. Most teenagers today are not as healthy as the president is in. He may not look like an athlete, but he certainly has the vitals of one. And again, as we watch Joe Biden literally struggle to move and speak, the president, even when ill, is apparently in better shape than old, slow Joe. So here's the deal. These days, all you have to do is see the worst of America by turning on cable TV. Anti-Trump left-wing radicals are marched out before the public to bash President Trump, to find fault with anything he does, even returning back to the White House from the hospital. It is despicable behavior because it paints a false picture of what America really is. The truth is, freedom-loving Americans dominate our cities and towns, but you would never get that from the corrupt media. While Donald Trump is fighting the Chinese virus, while he is still running the country too, by the way, they still attack him. He releases a video every few hours so we can see just how he's doing with our own eyes to keep us all informed. And CNN compares President Trump to Stalin.
There have been a lot of comparisons to the Soviet Union in the last couple of days, and I think they're not unwarranted. The particular period that I'm thinking about is something that I've written about a lot, which were the days of Stalin's death watch.
The death watch. Is that what they really want from all this? The death watch of President Trump? Look, the president has never been close to death through all of this. In fact, he is experiencing the virus like most Americans do. You get a fever early on, you get run down, you experience some respiratory issues, and then you get better. The president did and is doing exactly what he asked the American people to do. In fact, the president took no greater risk than he asked us to take. He went to work every day knowing the risks associated with not going into full isolation. He didn't hide in a bunker like Biden. When he asked first responders, healthcare workers, clerks in stores, teachers, and truck drivers to go to work, even with some risk, the president backed up his request by doing exactly what he was asking of America. Shutdowns are disastrous. Is the virus highly contagious? Yes. The president's case and those around him who came down with the virus prove it. But it also proves healthy people recover, and those who know their own risk factors should be allowed to make their own choices. Yet we get more hypocrisy and victim shaming from the left.
His response has been homicidal negligence. He has failed to protect the American people and rather to put his own interests of re-election and holding on to the office of the presidency in front of the health and well-being of the American people.
Homicidal negligence, he says. The negligence is on his part. Carl Bernstein is no longer a fearless reporter. He's a coward who has succumbed to Trump derangement syndrome as a mental disorder. Since when do we start blaming victims in this country? The answer, of course, is when the victim happens to be the President of the United States named Donald J. Trump. It's time for the media to stop stoking panic, and it is time to get back to work. That includes the president, too, because when America is working, the world is working. It is our duty as the leading nation in the free world to keep going. But what the left has proven is their secret desire is for President Trump to remain ill as long as possible. Their open desire to keep the country shut down as long as possible has nothing to do with what's good for America or what's good for all of you. And it has everything to do with what wins them an election. It is that kind of cheat to win, hurt others to get what you want mentality that is backfiring on the Democrats. Because the America I know is not the America you see each night on cable news. The America I know is represented by freedom-loving Americans, Trump-loving patriots that spent the weekend outside Walter Reed Hospital cheering on the president's speedy recovery.
What's extraordinary is look at the faces of all these people. You see all races, you see all backgrounds, you see such a mix. This is what America stands for and what makes America so great. And all of these people support our president.
Yes, they do. You see, that woman, these people she's talking about, are who the left hates and who the left vilifies. Hardworking folks, not a racist bone in their body, that simply want the best for the president and this great nation of ours. So some of the most important actions our virus-infected president has taken over the past few days is to show us and the world that he is doing well and in charge. Today, he tweeted about being released from Walter Reed. He said, feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. Uncertainty is never good. It is why he released videos of himself and, yes, even take a spin past his supporters outside Walter Reed. Oh, how dare he, the left says. Even this simple act can't go without the media using it against him, unaware that this one photo op, as they call it, is not just about thanking his supporters. It is about showing our enemies, foreign and domestic, that the commander-in-chief is still at the helm.
However, he's putting those Secret Service drivers and members who are protecting him in this moment at risk.
Yes, it's classic Donald Trump, isn't it? You know, he does want to be the star of any show, or he wants to be at the center of attention.
He's not being the star of any show. He's being the commander-in-chief, and he's putting our enemies on notice. He's still in charge. Don't make a move on us.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.